Hey, so who wants to go fast?
I want to go fast.
Welcome to the King Boy Channel. Today here we discovering the top 5 performance. You already know. Everybody gets, when the first thing you do when you buy a truck, everybody does something to increase the performance. So let's get to it right here. These are actually in order in my opinion. I got them separated in order from, I say worst to best. So let's get to it right here on the performance. Number 5, you already know, Azaz. And the reason why I said Azaz, alright? That's the number one thing, the first thing that everybody does when they buy a truck. They put glass pack, they straight pipe it, whatever the case may be. Add a muffler, but everybody wants to get rid of that stock exhaust, because we already know it doesn't sound good when you got a stock exhaust. I mean, it's quiet, but nobody really want to be quiet. We want to be heard, we want to be seen. And so that's the reason why you want exhaust. Exhaust also increases performance too. One of the best, if you got a little extra money, the best way to go is a full exhaust. Long tube headers, you know, no cats. Well, except you're in California now. If you're in California, you might want to keep your cats. But if you're not in California and you don't have emission testing, get rid of the cats. Getting rid of your cats, having long tube headers, you're definitely gonna smell the fuel because you don't have your catalytic converter, you know, to filter out. But the long tube headers, exhaust muffler, definitely run exhaust muffler. Doing straight pipe sounds good. Everybody got their own personal preference. You know, in my opinion, the best sounding exhaust is the Flowmaster 40 and the probably the Super 10s. But you can't really go wrong with a Magnaflow either. You know, Magnaflow is a good brand. Anything better than stock exhaust. You know, we all want to be heard. We all want to be seen. And it's just, you know, when you buy a truck it's in the stock, I say number 5 is probably one of the best upgrade on this list. Actually, number 1, the most common upgrade. But we are talking about top 5 performance, not common upgrades. So let's get to the fourth round. Number 4, cold air tank. Everybody runs cold air tanks seem like these days. Especially like for your older body style Chevrolets. Dodgers, Ford tend to be basically your older body style truck. You tend to see more of cold air tanks. The reason why I say cold air tanks is number 4 because it actually proven to increase horsepower. Now, what type of cold air tank you got depends on how much horsepower you got, how much money you really spend, basically. I say your cheaper on the barrel would probably be your eBay cold air tanks. Probably 1 to 5 horsepower gain. Not really much, but hey, it's also pretty cheap. Your higher end, like your Spectre or your K&N, those gonna definitely be your more recommended ones, and they actually prove to gain about 10 horsepower. Now, they can lose horsepower if you don't do number 3 when you go with the higher end cold air tank. And number 3, tune. You know, that's the Super Chip, Diablo, your laptop tune, your dyno tune. In my opinion, personal opinion, your best tune are gonna be your dyno tune, your laptop tune, your custom tunes, because you got it custom for what you, on the miles. So not every engine's gonna make exactly the same power, even though they should be making close similar power. You know, wear tear on the engine reduces power. We already know that. And so number 3 is tune. And also, number 3 improves number 4 and number 5 on this list, because if you got a long tube headers, there's a good chance that your truck can run a little slight on the lean side. Same way as cold air tank, because you're getting more air. You're able to get more air in the engine, and now you're able to get more exhaust out of the engine. So you're probably gonna be running a little lean without this number 3. So you may lose horsepower if you don't do number 3. But the tune is definitely. I mean, depending on what you kind of vehicle you got, EcoBoost it tend to be most responsive vehicle, most responsive truck on the list because they twin turbo, as you know. And EcoBoost, I mean, I had from 30 to 40 horsepower gain with EcoBoost. That's a lot of power to gain on just a tune. Now you also you can tune it for econ, like getting better gas mileage. But you know, if you drive a lifted truck or driving any type of truck, we ain't worried about the gas mileage. We worry about the power. So this is performance, not econ, not gas efficient. So number 3 tune by far. I mean, your best tune, your best program is gonna probably be like your Super Chip, your Diablo. I say, but your best custom tune is gonna by far be the best. And it's very how on this list. You gonna have to have a tune for number 2 and 1. I mean, that is highly recommended, especially some of the things I got on this list right here. Number 2, gears. On a lifted truck, gears is essential. Gears is how you take wear and tear off a vehicle. Gears is how you make a vehicle go off faster. Acceleration, how you make it pull better. Gears, and what I mean by gears, I mean rear end gear on your power end, specifically your rear end. But also, if you got a 4-wheel drive, you need to upgrade the front to match the rear if you want to lock in 4-wheel drive. That's highly recommended. But anyway, gears. Yes, your Yukon, your motor. If you're, depending on what kind of truck you're running and depending on what size wheel you got, it can kind of differ between gears you want. Some people run 411s when they tend to run 33s, 35s. Some people tend to run 456s when they run 35s, 37s, 38s. And I have some people tend to run 48s for your 40s, 42, your bigger size wheels. Even your 37s. My opinion, I have used Motor, I have used Yukon. Those are my two brands I ever fooled. I never been fooled with USD Standard. I never messed with what's they call it, Richmond gears. But I think your higher quality gear probably on the list is gonna be your Motor and your Yukon. Specifically Yukon. But I think Yukon is probably the king of the ring gear. I may be wrong. Some people might have their own taste of what they, prefer in ring opinion. But the reason why gears are so important because if you running a 35 or 37 tire and you got a stock gear, let's say you got a Chevrolet 373 gears, typical gear, or 342 typical gear, and you running 30, your truck comes out with 295s or 265, something like that, and now you got a 35-inch tire on there, and so now that tire is, because it's so much larger, it takes a lot longer to rotate. So it throws the speedometer off as she does that, and that's where the tune come in so much important. Because when you run a larger tire, it may say you're going 60 miles an hour, but in reality you might be going 70. So gears can compensate from that, but gears are really more important because it makes it easier to turn. If you got a 411 or 456s on a 35, you may lose in on top end, but it makes your power more efficient. You're able to rotate that gear because it rotates more basically every turn. I think it's a 456 stands for 4.56 rotation to compensate one tire rotation, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong, but I think that's how it goes right there. And having more rotation right there is just like being in a lower gear, basically, like you're in the first or second gear. It makes it much easier for your truck to rotate the weight of your tires, because just to be honest, if you want to go fast, you want smaller tires, like 265, 33, something like that. But your bigger tire, like 35, the heavier tire, really, the more weight and the more power it takes to turn that tire. And so having a higher, or I say not higher, a lower gear would definitely be, if they're on this list, I think that would be what you'll feel the most. That would be the most recommended, because really, I feel like without number two, without gears, it's like, some people do go in the motor and that, that helps, but the gears just saves the extra stress in your transmission too. From having to shift in and out, shifting the overdrive, and shifting the third or second or whatever to compensate the weight. And number one, now, before we get to number one, let's go to honorable mention. Honorable mention now. This is not necessarily a performance, but I tend to start to see this more and more often now. And if you have this in your truck, this right here would bring everybody to your truck. Trust me, this is the best sounding thing that you can do, and that's just the MSD two-step, the MSD LS two-step, or your MS. And I'm not sure they have it. I'm pretty sure they have it on Ford, but I really tend to see this on Chevrolets more than anything, or GM vehicles. Your MSD two-step, basically what it does is that you can set the RPM to at a certain level. So let's say you instead of holding the gas, trying to keep it at that certain RPM before you let off on the brake, the MS two-step will compensate for that. And this don't really mean much in the lifted truck community, but if you have a lot of motor work and if you're in a racing, it's essential basically, because two-step you can set the RPM at 2,000, and then you can hold it. You can hit this button right here, and basically what it does is it won't let the vehicle rev past 2,000. So you can hold it to the floor, and it won't go past 2,000 or whatever RPM you set it to, and then it basically cut out on ignition so that you hit it, and it has this unique sound where it's like, I say like a tram brake sound. It's like this popping sound, like this all out pro mod, like revving up, like you finna get down when you have this right here. And if it's hooked up properly, used properly, it definitely helps you accelerate from off the road. Because a lot of times a lot of people break their vehicles. If you don't have and this is a whole nother topic on performance, but aftermarket torque converter to rev up at that level right there before you take off, it definitely make a big difference. But that's anyway, let's get past that right there. Number one on the list. Number one is cam. Cam shaft. Every vehicle got a cam shaft, so some people say, when you say cam, you mean aftermarket cam. Number one reason why I choose cam is because it sounds good, it makes power, it changes the way your power comes at, where your power band at. It's essential to performance. Without a cam, it's just not a performance engine, not anything. Cam is definitely, whether it's this B2R Stage 2 or Texas Speed or Comp cams. All these cam brands basically out here having an aftermarket cam and just having that chop sound or that choppy, that note. It just sounds good. It just like when you have a aftermarket cam set, people know you got performance. You have motor spending your money. You have a performance part, and they know you not to be messed with. Cam shaft really works best when you have all these on the list right here. It by itself may not increase much power. But when added on with other bolt-ons, it's essential. Having cam shaft with aftermarket gears, tune, cold, everything. And the reason why I say tune for number two and number one is because you cannot drive a cam vehicle without a tune. It's got to be custom tuned. It's got to be tuned. Because without a tune, it throws your fuel mixer level so much off, where your airflow fuel ratio is so far off that it may not run or might not even start. So you definitely gonna have a tune when you run cam shaft. But in my opinion, the best cam that you can put in a truck is gonna be your B2R Stage 2. I know I might piss some people off when I say that, but I think B2R Brown Tuning Racing cam shafts are some of the best cams. Your comp cams are more aggressive. That can have better top end power, but your BTR is like just a good cam. I'm not sponsored by BTR, but I mean, from what I've seen, Texas Speed got some good cams. They all got good cams. Crane got good cams. Even the eBay Sloppy Stage 2 cam is pretty good. But the BTR Stage 2 cam is essential. The reason why I chose Stage 2 cam and not Stage 3 or not Stage 4. Alright, let me explain this reason why I recommend not going Stage 3 and Stage 4 cam in the pickup truck. Number one reason, you haul it. You haul in your truck. You're not wide open throttle all the time. You're not like building a ZR1 or something like that, ZR1, and you plan on racing it all the time. It's not a Camaro or it's not a Mustang or nothing. Having a real and I say this just more on the Chevrolet side on the GM. Now Dodges and Ford tend to react a little bit different with cam shaft. Ford tend to have a little bit more aggressive cam shaft. You're able to get because of the variable timing. But your Dodge and Chevrolet kind of similar on when it comes to cams and radial react on cams. Stage 2 is the best cam because you don't really lose much power on the bottom end. Because what you're doing when you put an aftermarket cam is you're increasing the valves with how long they open when they open. And so if you have too much cam shaft, let's say Stage 3, Stage 4, you're now taking that power band from typical 2,000, 3,000 to 4 or 5 or something like that, and you're making that power band starts from like 4,500 or 5,500 on up. And so you don't want all your power from 55 on up. You want your power to start as soon as you get on the gas. And so if you got a big cam like a Stage 4, Stage 3, if you're not running an aftermarket torque converter stall like a 3200, 3500 or something like that, or 4000 to get you to that power band as quick as possible, then you're losing a lot of power. And running a high stall on a pickup truck is really just a good way to say bye-bye transmission, especially if you got a 460. You might well say fuck it. I mean, if you got a 460, and running that high of a stall, you gonna be, anybody that knows that got a 460 or a 470, or you just with that type of stall, with that type of torque converter, you cooking transmissions. I mean, you burning them. And you really want to run I recommend stage 2 because you get good power on the top end, good power on the bottom end. Stage 1 is really ideal for trucks and stuff, but they don't really sound that good. And they really more of torque cams for like hauling stuff. But a lot of guys, especially in the soul, business and the soul truck, you're not really hauling a lot of stuff. You're really just driving it mostly. So stage 2 is ideally what size cam. And another thing I didn't put on this list, which actually probably make the most power gain on the list right here, is aftermarket heads, cylinder heads like the 243 or your Ford end. Your Ford heads, you tend to have to get imported parts. I'm not really sure for the Audis or EcoBoost, but having imported parts heads, cylinder heads definitely is a huge power gain on any engine you run. It's way more expensive. It's not really a bolt-on at that point because you had to take it to the machinist shop or order an aftermarket a head on its own. But that would be your even better as far as performance, or like your power adders like nitrous boost or your supercharger, whatever, your power adders. But really, that's a whole other topic for another story right there. So that's my top 5 best performance on the list, best performance you can do to a vehicle. I hope y'all like this video. Y'all like, share, subscribe. And if y'all want me to make a video how to really go fast in a pickup truck, like if you want to take that route and actually go really fast on a pickup truck, that's your 500, 600, 700 horsepower type of pickup truck. Diesel's not included. It's not talking about diesels. I didn't really mention diesel. And the reason why I really didn't mention diesel because they engine, the way they perform is so much different. Diesels make so much power as they is, and a lot of time can really a diesel, putting a straight exhaust in a tune is the best thing you can do to diesel, because diesels are actually toned down a lot. They actually make a lot more power than they come from the factory, but they tone down to pass emission. Tuning them would definitely make a big difference on passing. You might not pass emissions, but you increase a lot of horsepower. You're talking 100 to 200 horsepower gain just from a tune with a diesel. But that's my top 5 performance list. I hope y'all like this video right here. Y'all like, share, subscribe. We got more to come on top 5 video, and we got better things to go. Be expecting some more. And if I get a lot of likes, I may even make a top 5 video how to make the truck go really fast. So hope y'all enjoy. Only want the range for a week. It's 20 bands for the seats. Come on all my receipts. I feel like a dog I can eat.